I am sitting enjoying this beautiful view and the sounds and the smells here in beautiful Squamish, BC. I love to come up here and meditate. Sometimes it's cloud covered and sometimes it's sunny and clear, and it's always different. It's always spectacular. Last week when I was sitting here meditating, a bear came through the trees just ahead. Of course, I had to get up and move to safety. I'm in the bear's environment. If I fight or flight, it said get up and move. That's a real perceived threat. But for days afterwards, when I would come into this region, I was fearful of the thought of the bear. I was fearful of the thought that the bear may be near, but not actually of the bear. This is much like many of our own inner narratives. We have things that cause anxiety or fear in our thoughts, fears of the unknowns. They can be false narratives. False narrative that the bear is near. When we focus on very positive thoughts, things we are grateful for, our senses, I can see the beauty all around me. I can smell the aromas in a kitchen, in the forest. I can hear the beautiful sound around me. I can sip oxygen into my lungs. Those are truths. I know them to be real. But sometimes we allow false narratives to take control and become looping thoughts. Things we don't know. Much like the bear, I used to have a fear of snakes. While living in Costa Rica, I was working with Club Para Niños, and we were doing many cleanups in forests and beaches. And I said to my dear friend, Dr. Andrea, what do I do if I'm bit by a snake? And she laughed and said, Carolee, I have lived here all my life. I know farmers and families who have worked barefoot in the fields. They climb the trees. They spend their whole days in these fields. And I've never treated a snake bite in Guanacaste. You will never be bit by a snake. But I had this fear of that snake. Well, sure enough, it was less than 3 weeks later, Andrea would get a call. I was bit by a snake. Once I was bit by the snake, I really lost my fear of snakes. I learned about them. I realized that they rarely release their venom or they will die. I learned how many poisonous snakes there are. I learned a lot. And I'm truly no longer afraid of snakes. And the chances of me bitten again, well, they're very slim. So we ruminate and create these narratives sometimes about the unknowns, about future events, about how other people feel or think or observe us, or our future positions in life. And we put a lot of energy into this. But if we put our energy back into what we know is real, what we know is loving, and when we get the message from a friend that is loving and kind, and we focus our energy on that, and we focus the energy on our own nutrition, our own health, our own habits, our own positive actions, we come into a better soul space and essence of truth. Over 20 years ago, I went up that mountain straight ahead, the Stonemas Chief, with 4 friends. Courtney, Chris, one of their friends, I can't remember his name, and Zach, our guide. We had packs full of rappelling gear, and we hiked up. And we sat on the top of the ledge looking at the incredible house sound. And we talked. Zach guided us through fears and thoughts. And so we could stay up there with all our gear that was weighing us down, enjoy our lunch, and walk back down wondering what that rappel would have been like to go over that edge and commit to that choice and find our way 500 meters down, maneuvering, reaching obstacles and finding our way through it. And that whole exhilarating experience we could avoid by just turning around with all the weight we just carried up and walk back down, not knowing. Or we could commit to this decision and trust that through each step and each of our actions, we would get to exactly where we needed to be. It was a life-changing experience for me, and every time I come to big decisions or places that I fear or anxiety, I think about sitting on that ledge and making that decision. And the work of Byron Katie, how would it feel without that thought? The very next day, I woke up and I put everything I owned from my apartment into storage. And I moved forward with my life. I let go and I trusted the unknown, because I was in a very unhealthy situation at the time. And somehow I found comfort in that, rather than the big risk of letting go and committing to change. That action was the best thing probably ever did in my life. So right now, with all the uncertainties of life, I'm inviting you to just allow the feelings to move through the body, but understand often feelings are untrustworthy guides and can deceive us, and our own narratives can become great stories of fiction that we don't really know. So rest in the known, and the knowns are usually positives. The knowns are the things we can be grateful for. Rest in the knowns. Address your fears. Courage. And I always say no one does anything fearlessly. You move through it anyway. There is no one who is fearless. We all have fear. But if you're ruminating in other people's thoughts, you don't know they're true. If you're ruminating about where your life will take you, well, we don't know. What we do know is the actions we can take today for ourselves, for our health. Our thoughts create chemicals in the body, and our thoughts can either kill or cure us. So ask yourself, are you afraid of the bear or the thought of the bear? We can be a bear to someone in our life. They can be a bear for us. Clear communication, integrity, honesty, and true compassion can lead us to a gentle place of surrender. Trusting our inner wisdom isn't always jumping into our feelings. We often have to get to the back seat of our feelings and just observe them. Try and transform them. Anxiety and fear often lies up in the chest, the heart, and if we move it down to the third chakra, our sense of will, we can overcome it. Or to our creativity, move forward to the second chakra and allow that space. And know you are supported and rooted in the root chakra. I'm sending this message to some really special friends who may feel alone today, who may feel unsure of where life is taking them, unsure of the decisions to make, and why life has brought them to this crossroad. Trust in your growth and the presence of this opportunity. You are loved and supported on this planet. If you can, take some time to go for a walk and really listen to the senses. Come in tune with the body and the earth, feel of your skin. Feel the wind on your skin and the sun on your face. Don't allow the thoughts to hijack you from this place. With metta or loving kindness, inviting you to a beautiful day. I see you, I hear you, and I send you loving kindness and compassion.